welcome to the showcase, where great stories come from great entertainers. But I think you already know that. Interesting stories behind the scenes, fun and frolics, as well as awesome videos and singers. Please watch, click the thumbs up, and subscribe for more great content. It helps the channel a lot. Now, today's guest, sat waiting patiently, is Lisa Rogers. Hello, Lisa.
Hi, Sean. Thanks for having me.
It's great. Nice to see you. Who'd believe technology? I'm in Thailand. You're in Holland. It looks like we're next door to each other. It was a great pleasure to do Perhaps Your Dad the other week. Still haven't uploaded it yet because I've got about 7 waiting to go. And the policy of YouTube, you can't just bang, 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 you know. So they've got to take the time. So Lisa, you come from a talented family, very talented family. Had the pleasure of your dad backing me many, many times in Clubland. I'm sure he's backed you at some point. Tell us about you. When did you first realise you had a lovely voice?
Well, when I was growing up, I always enjoyed music and enjoyed singing, but I was really shy. My dad obviously was always playing keyboard, having students in the house and teaching and everything, and I was always kind of interested in it, and I enjoyed that. But yeah, I was always very shy, so he'd kind of sometimes try to encourage me to sing along to him playing, but I just was very shy. And then I got to about sort of 11 or 12, I think it was, and he said, would you like to do anything musical? Would you like to have singing lessons? And I kind of knew that I kind of enjoyed singing and I had a bit of a voice, but I just didn't really know what to do with it. So I said, yeah. And then we went to Tracy Oaten, which is now Tracy Adams, at Stage Struck, and I started to have lessons there. My sister did, and we were having like one-to-one private lessons with Tracy. And really, Tracy for me was the biggest starting point to give me that confidence boost, because her school was kind of like, as a lot of people who went there, it was sort of like she did one-to-one, but then she sort of organised monthly shows where the students would turn up and there'd be a theme, or there'd just be a lot of different eras, and we'd all sing songs and perform in front of all the parents and the rest of the students. It was a really good confidence boost for me and a good starting point to sort of get me singing. So yeah, that's where it started for me.
I didn't know that. Tracy's got a lot to answer for. She's done a lot of things like that because years ago, when all the clubs was vibrant, you could work 7 nights a week. Tracy was resident, and you were resident at the South Courts Club. Do you remember the South Courts?
Yeah, I knew of it just from sort of like being younger. I remember my dad mentioning a lot about it and being there as well to sort of support the artists. So yeah.
Yeah, well, Julie was the compere. Tracy was the compere. She did a fantastic job. It was really good. And she's got a powerful voice. So you learned how to sing. So your dad plays keyboard. Sadly, your dad doesn't sing.
Yeah.
You sing, and where did you go from there once you'd got your grounding in the singing lessons? What did you do?
Well, it kind of just built naturally, really, because of the age that I sort of grew up and did the singing lessons. I was sort of in my early teens, and then after that, obviously, I studied it at school, I did it at college, I did it at university, and then it just went from there. So I was always kind of, after that point, once I got that confidence, sort of pursuing it. I was studying it, I was doing performing arts, musical theatre, and it just went from there, like I said. So after I finished uni, I went and did some performing summer season contracts abroad. I was in a Motown tribute group, did that in Greece, and then I did it straight after that in Mallorca the year after. And after that point, we were kind of like doing the hotels. There was a group of girls and we were all sort of like doing all the choreography, singing, dancing. And then I decided to just do it solo after that, because I loved the places I was traveling to, and I just had built the connections, and I just thought, yeah, do you know what, I'm going to just try and do it by myself. And I just did. I just sang a few years as a soloist at that point in Alcudia in Mallorca, just sort of around the various bars and some hotels as well.
You see, I never knew that. I never knew you worked abroad. I can imagine you doing Greece. You've got that kind of voice, Olivia Newton-John kind of voice. And,
no. What I meant was Greece is in the place.
Oh,
Greece.
Sorry, I misunderstood. You see how we... Oh, dear. Greece, There's loads of different words for Greece. Grime, Greece. Okay, that's good. So you sang abroad. Did you enjoy it, singing abroad?
I absolutely loved it. I mean, just being out there, you know about travelling. Once you're there and you find somewhere you really enjoy, it's just brilliant. It's such a lucky sort of thing to be able to go and sing somewhere that's beautiful and that is just so relaxed and everyone's having a great time and you're having a great time doing it. It's just the best. It really is. It's a privilege to be able to do it. Yeah, I loved it.
Lots of the acts on here, they say they work abroad a lot, and especially the tributes, they do flybacks. So they fly to do a gig in combat, and they said it's not like a job, It's like, It's awesome. So the viewers probably don't know, the people who watch these podcasts probably don't know that you have a job as well. Because nowadays, Lisa, one of the hardest things to do now is make money from singing. It's quite a challenging job and a pressure. To have a standard of living that you want to, aspire to is very difficult. So you have a job and you just sing now ad hoc or when somebody rings you or what? How does it work with you now, Lisa?
Exactly. It's kind of just that getting the balance right. I've been studying counselling as well. So I'm kind of doing that. I'm working. And I'm singing, so it's just got to be the right balance for me just to sort of make it work. So I enjoy singing still, and it is still a big dream for me to be a successful artist and have my own music and release that and see where that takes me. But it's just a balance at the minute for me. I always had that interest for counselling, so I decided a couple of years back to do it part-time. So I'm kind of juggling at the minute, just about to finish, but just keeping the balance and doing the singing.
Well, you said about recording. I'm just looking at, you sent me something that you've put on TuneCore, and it's a song called Run to You. Did you write that?
Yeah, I did write that. That was my most recent song. I did do one last year, which was my first single, and that was called Without You Now. And that was kind of co-produced by me, and that was Riley Urich that did Run to You, but the original one, that was somebody else that did that, but it was all co-produced, but I wrote the lyrics for both of the songs and I sort of co-produced the melody and then all the music was done by the producers. So
wow.
Yeah.
It's not easy to write songs, Lisa, because I'm 65, shouldn't have said that. Yeah, I am. It's only recent years that I've learned to write songs myself, and it takes an awful lot of effort. Where do you start? Do you start with the lyrics? Do you start with the tune? How do you start when you have an idea for a song? What's the inspiration? How does it start for you?
You are right. I am not a natural. I don't feel like I'm a natural writer, so I do need the inspiration. I do try and sit and write just from scratch, just kind of cold turkey if you want, just think what's something that I can write about, what's the inspiration. But for me, it's got to be something that's kind of relevant to you as an individual, maybe a life experience, maybe a feeling, a situation. But yeah, sometimes as well, like with the first song that I did, the music for me was kind of already existing. So that gave me the inspiration for the lyrics. So for me, listening to the music was kind of a way for me to add lyrics to it. Whereas this time round, the music was kind of built in the process and it was very much kind of from scratch. But I think sometimes when you do have that inspiration or a starting point, it can just naturally progress at the same time. So sometimes if you've got one little seed, it can kind of just bloom from that.
That's good advice, because I aim to do a podcast myself on how to get into songwriting, because a lot of people don't know. They think you need to have a tune ready. And Lisa, you're a singer, but you've been brought up with your dad playing the keyboards and you've got ideas of melodies and things like that. So if you're not a musician, but you're a songwriter and you write a song, it's very difficult to find somebody who can match a melody with the song you've written, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And I think it is just about having that sort of interesting, creative person who is kind of experienced in just playing around and experimenting, being creative and knowing what might sound well, knowing what might work with what you're trying to bring and what their ideas are. And it's just that kind of creative collaboration really that can work if it's the right style and the right people.
Yeah, it is. You're exactly right, because you might be a brilliant musician, but you have no ideas at writing songs, because you also got to be a bit of an English buff, to understand verbs, adverbs, and how they all fit together. And, so you're not good at English. Again, it can be quite challenging, can't it? And, there's a lot of people writing songs nowadays, but it costs them an awful lot of money because they've got to go to studios. They can't afford to do a home studio. What do you do? Do you go to a studio? Can you play a musical instrument yourself? Lisa?
Can kind of play piano, but nothing like my dad. I wish I could, but that was, I had my opportunity when I was younger to do piano lessons, and I was kind of just like, oh, I'd rather be out with my friends and singing. Yeah, so I can to an extent. I do kind of set my own chords out if I'm playing on the keyboard. I can try and hear them and do it from sight and sound and things. But yeah, when I've done the past two songs, it's been through a platform, which is like an online platform where you would collaborate with a producer remotely, and then they would add bits, send you it, and then you would add bits, send it back, and it would just become a product at the end. But obviously the producer has got all the tools and the sound and the equipment to be able to make that happen, really. So yeah.
Does that cost you money to do that?
Yeah, like you said, it's a really expensive industry, I think, and that's the difficult part. It is really means tested in that sense, where not everybody can just afford to do it. And, I've had to save up quite a lot to be able to do these things as well. And I completely understand where people are coming from with that. And that's the one unfortunate thing. If you're not a producer yourself, you do have to find people that can do that. Yeah.
What are you hoping for when you write these songs and put them on iTunes or wherever you put them? What are you hoping for? Make
Just
money?
sort of,
Fame?
just success in general, really. Yeah, I mean, just kind of for people to hear them, for people to really enjoy them. And I think, it's a different feeling to have your own music to perform in covers, which is still a really good thing that I enjoy doing, but it's just a different feeling. And I think to know that people enjoy the music that you've released after working on it, which is still work, is just brilliant. And for people to be like, oh, your song was really good. I heard it. I listened to it a lot of times. It's just really nice. So yeah, just kind of for people to enjoy it. Yeah.
It's almost impossible, Lisa, no matter how good a singer you are, musician you are, to get into the charts nowadays, because the whole business is dramatically changed.
Yeah.
I've got a few producers coming on here. They're going to explain the business and how it works. Nowadays, it's all about social media or who you know. You can't send your CD off anymore to Simon Cowell or to a record company. They don't want to know.
Yeah.
So the bottoms fall out the industry, and it even makes it more harder for you to be noticed, to be found. I think you've got to do it for self-passion, self-love. Yeah, I think that's what it's all about, for sure. Your song Run to You, have you got a video of it or not? Or is
Not
it just...
yet. There's not a music video yet.
Oh, okay. Just to tell the viewers, people are watching, Lisa's also on iTunes. So if you want to find her song, it's called Run to You, and you can download it on iTunes. Is there any other thing that it's on? Are you on Spotify?
Yeah, so it was uploaded to TuneCore originally, and they send it off to all the platforms like Spotify, iTunes, YouTube Music. It's on Deezer, which not everyone uses, SoundCloud. But yeah.
Well, I was with one of those companies, and I just found it a total rip-off. So I pulled all my tracks down, and I think we're now, as a band, we're producing music just purely through a website, and then spidering that out through social media, because that's all that those people do, and they charge you a lot of money for it. How much do you pay a year for doing all that, for having that?
A lot of people ask kind of things like that, but with those platforms, it kind of tailors it to what you're looking for. So it's a completely different price for each person compared. Basically, it works out how many songs that you want to upload and how many songs you want to keep on their platform each year, how many you would like to kind of send to different platforms. It's not just kind of you pay for it and that's the end of it. It's a fixed amount, because it really does kind of tailor it to what you're looking to do.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. I was with DistroKid, and one of the hardest things I couldn't ever do was cancel the subscription. They make it so difficult that they don't want you to leave. And I don't know, I paid money to DistroKid for 3 or 4 years, and I saw nothing from it. Yeah, my songs was on Spotify, hardly anybody listened. Songs was on iTunes, hardly anybody listened. So you've still got to do the marketing yourself. They do it all for you. They launch all the music, which is great, Lisa, and great for you, because you've got some fond memories to tell your family in the future too, and I bet your mum's proud of it, and your dad, because, a musical family that you come from, to achieve something like that is really awesome. I would have liked to put your video up at the front of that song, but you don't have it yet, so we'll just have to put the one of Willow's.
Yeah, to be continued.
I'm sure. I'm sure. So is your future going to be just carry on in the clubs? Do you get bored of it, singing in the pubs and clubs?
The reason I released my own music was just because it wasn't exactly boredom, but it was just how can I keep progressing? How can I keep, being successful and doing what I enjoy? And there is a point where you sing covers to an extent where you just think, right, I've sang this song quite a lot, because you end up repeating based on the audience that you have and the age groups in the clubs and things. And I just wanted to do something different and have something that was mine, like you said, to be able to talk about in the future. And yeah, so for me, it's just a different feeling. It's a different point in my sort of where I am with being a singer. And I, at the minute, just want to keep doing that and seeing where that takes me, really, whilst having the gigs, whilst doing the covers and everything else.
Yeah. There's no better feeling, Lisa, like you work and all your colleagues saying, Lisa, can I listen to your songs? Yeah, it's on iTunes. Wow, they go, don't they? They think you're something.
Yeah.
It's really exciting, I must admit. Would you ever go back and do the abroad stuff, or you settle down with your family now and you don't really want to?
Well, I did after the sort of contracts. Obviously, we had COVID and that just sort of finished a lot of that, and Brexit happened. And then I did go and do entertainment management on P&O Ferries for a while. And I enjoyed that. That was another branching out kind of experience of performance and management and everything. So that was nice. So I'd kind of consider it for the future, but at the minute, I feel like I'm just kind of wanting to keep producing some songs and seeing what goes on with that. And then hopefully soon I'll be a qualified counsellor and I'll still be working and figuring that out. So yeah, busy times.
So, a counsellor, do you want to be a counsellor for companies? What kind of counsellor do you want to be?
I think I'd like to do it self-employed whilst doing the other things that I enjoy, because that would work out the best way for me. Not that that's easy, and obviously I've been self-employed as a solo singer, so I kind of know what the deal is with that. But yeah, I think that's what I'd like to do, kind of have my own clients and work with different types of people in different situations and juggle it all.
So, a counsellor, if somebody's got a problem, they come to you and you help them kind of like look at it in different ways. Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of talk them
Okay.
through, and yeah,
You
just
must
be
have
there.
the patience of a devil, of a saint. Yeah?
Sometimes it can be the two.
Oh, well, I mean, I worked alongside your dad at Hull College for many years as a teacher, and I saw the special needs and counsellors, and I couldn't do it. It's just not my forte. You have to have something about you to be able to want to help people in depth like that. It's very difficult, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It can be really challenging, but it's one of those things like teaching. Some people say it can be really rewarding in that sense, where you can see that you have helped someone. It's just such a brilliant, pure, lovely feeling to really see that you've helped somebody. It really is. It's just something that really is beneficial to you and the client.
So the future is carry on writing your songs, doing the pubs and clubs when you don't have to do. Obviously, you got a good job. So a lot of people in this business, they have to do every gig to try and make a living. Thankfully, you don't have to do that, but you're investing the money back into the business, which I suppose is a nice thing as well. The future of Lisa Rogers, what does it look like?
I have no idea at the minute, but I just think there's a lot of positives. I mean, I'm nearly qualified. I am on my second single that's been released already, and I'm working on 4 more soon. Very soon there'll be a 4-track EP to be released. Eventually, that'll take some time and work. And maybe a music video for Run to You somewhere in there. And yeah, we'll see. But all positives. Future.
All positive. That's good, because I ask on here, we invite people like Lisa to share her experience in the business, because there's not many people doing it. And when we know what goes on in the background, it makes you understand the performer better. Like, I didn't know before inviting Lisa on here that she had her own songs on iTunes. So there you go. You see, you learn something every day. So please, if you're watching the showcase, we'd like to, myself would like to say a big thank you, because we can't build a bigger showcase without you. And I'd like to say a big thank you to Lisa for coming on the showcase today. That's 2 of the Rogers we've had on.
Thank you for having me.
Lisa, it's been a real pleasure, and good luck with the songwriting. Keep it up.
Thank you, Sean. Thanks for having me again. I've really enjoyed it.
I've really enjoyed it too. Thank you, Lisa.